Good evening, people. Welcome to part 2, chapter 2 of my Laurel and Hardy The Collection series, marathon, whatever you want to call it. It doesn't really matter. Disc number 2. There it is, disc number 2. And there's 6 shorts, and the theme, there's a theme, and the theme is someone's ailing. So someone is suffering with some kind of medical problem. That's the theme of all these. And the first one comes from that picture. The picture comes from the first one. It's also in the film Stan and Ollie, which when I saw that in this, I smiled because Ollie's in hospital with his leg up, being balanced by a weight. Stan comes to visit him, brings him hard-boiled eggs and nuts, which leads Ollie to say, to me it's a famous saying, I don't know if it is famous, but hard-boiled eggs and nuts. The weight holding his leg up gets entangled in the doctor gets thrown out of the window. It starts off calm and it gets more and more crazy. Stan sits on a needle full of sedative, and when they drive home, you can imagine what happens when someone's tired at the wheel. But I like that one, 1932, a short talkie. I enjoyed it. Then from 1934, another talkie, Them Thar Hills. Ollie has gout. He needs Stan to carry him up and down the stairs. But the doctor tells him he needs some fresh air, go up to the mountains. So off they go, they get a trailer and they go up to the mountains and they find this abandoned cabin. But before they get there, you've got these I don't call them bad guys, but these guys are making moonshine, and the authorities come and they pour 2 barrels of moonshine down into the well. They arrive at this cabin. There's no water for them, so he sends Stan to the well, and they just get slowly more drunk and more drunk and more drunk as it goes on. A couple that run out of petrol come, the woman gets drunk with them, and then her husband and Stan and Ollie, in a bit of a foreshadowing, tit for tat. A one-upsmanship. They'll do something to him, he'll do something to them. Ends up with Ollie's backside on fire, and he jumps into the well. And what's in the well? Yeah, kaboom. Lot of fun. I like that one. That's one of my favourite on this disc, on this set. Then a sequel to that film. I think the only sequel he ever done, and it is called Tit for Tat from 1935. Stan and Ollie now own an electrical shop. How they could ever fix anything or do anything like that, I don't know. Next door is a grocery shop, run by the couple from the last film. The husband thinks Ollie is trying to get with his wife because he comes down the stairs, but he got stuck. He got stuck on the roof by a ladder and a lift. So it leads to tit for tat. He does something, they do something, it just gets bigger and bigger, but there's a side gag. When they go to the grocery shop, Stan puts a sign on the door, back soon, but he doesn't lock the door, he doesn't close the door. So every time they come back to the shop, there's this guy carrying something out of the shop. They say, good day, hello. And what he takes each time they come back is bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger, and they don't cotton on. So I like that one as well. Which not quite as fun as its first film, but I liked it. I did. Then Perfect Day, which apparently I'd seen before, but I didn't remember it. Another talkie from 1929. Stan and Ollie and family, they're going out for a picnic, I imagine. They all get in a car, the old type of car. They spend more time saying goodbye to the neighbours. Goodbye, 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 goodbye. And by the time they get to go, all manners of problems with the car. Burst tyre. They jack it up, change the tyre, don't take the jack out. Ollie says to Stan, get in the car and throw out the clutch. And I'm thinking, I know what's coming. Goes inside, pulls the clutch out and throws the clutch out. And when they do finally get going, they sink in some roadworks. They just drive in and sink. So simple, but I quite enjoyed that one. Then another simple film from 1929. You could say they're all simple, but some simpler than others. 1929, They Go Boom. Apparently I've seen this one before, but I didn't remember it. Ollie is sick. He can't sleep. So Stan helps him. All takes place in one room with a bed, and it ends up with the bed exploding. I quite liked it. I didn't like it as much as the others, but I still liked it. Then the last one on this, called Leave 'Em Laughing, 1928 silent film. I said before, I prefer the talkies to the silence. But when you see the title cards come up, I hear Stan and Ollie saying the words, so it's not that much of a problem, but I'd rather hear them. Stan has toothache. Ollie is not very supportive of him. In fact, he keeps poking him like that. But one thing leads to another, and they end up at the dentist, but Ollie gets a tooth pulled. Then the gas they use to knock you out with, the laughing gas as you call it, there's a puncture in the pipe, laughing gas goes, they get into the car to go home, laughing. They cause havoc at a crossroads, an intersection with a policeman, and most of the comedy in the last 10 minutes or so comes from that. I didn't mind it. My least favourite of the 6. But again, I do this. I put my mind back to 1928, watching it. You can imagine people hollering with laughter. So I would say disc 2 is also a success. Good, clean fun. And I said I wouldn't spoil them, but some of these are 18, 20, 22-minute films. How do you not talk about a 20-minute film? But whatever. So the theme, Someone's Ailing, was a success. Comments are welcome. I'll see you in chapter 3.